Hello, everyone. Today is February 14th, 2021, and it's Valentine's Day. So I'd like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day to all those young lovers, old lovers, and in between lovers. I just love my kids, so there's no lovers here other than my children and grandchildren and great grandchildren. So I did write down a bit of an explanation of what I wanted to say today, so I don't ramble on and chew up my timer. Because I do want to tell a short story after this about one of my experiences in love when I was younger, way younger. So, what is love? Can it be defined, or is it only an experience? Love is the essence and life of all that exists. We first experience love in this physical life from our parents. So, what happens if we are born to parents that can't, won't, don't love us? Can that mean we are unlovable? Of course not. Not at all. We exist in this world, in this physical plane, because God loves us. And I'm not getting all religious on you. I just want to explain where love comes from, because it does start somewhere. And we have to remember this. If we don't have love in our heart and we're trying to figure out how to love someone, where do we start? So it's very important to remember that God loves us. Perhaps this life is one of little love. So is that karma? So what is karma? The old saying that what goes around comes around usually is true. What we give out, we get back. So is karma good or bad? It's both. We can earn good karma with good deeds, and therefore, of course, we can earn bad karma with bad deeds. So it sounds logical. So what is wisdom? First, one must have understanding. To have understanding, we must first have total awareness of the inner self at all times. So these are all steps that we have to kind of go through. So how do we have awareness of the inner self? We put our attention on God. And how do we put our attention on God? By singing a love song to God. And that is the hue. And I'm not going to go any further into that other than to put a link down on below my video, and you can go to the ECKANKAR website and hear the hue, which is a love song, or sing with the song Singing Hue and connect to spirit. So I'd like to tell you a story about karma and love and divorce. But anyhow, I'm going to start off on a dream. This goes back to probably 1990. I had this very strong dream and then much past life recall after the dream initiated that all recall. I was a young girl in Midwestern United States, an Aboriginal. Um, the name Kiowa, when I was young, I used to love that name, so I have to assume I was of the Kiowa Nation or a village of the Kiowa people. And I was married to an older man, probably mid 30s, and I loved him, and he loved me. But one day, a man came to the village. I'm going to call him Wolf. I'll call my husband Fox so that I can differentiate on who is who. So I became very enthralled with this wolf fella, and he me. So one day, my husband went out hunting, or he went away from the village. I'm not sure why, and I got involved with Wolf. I remember being in a teepee, looking up through the skin, and the skin was the color of honey, and on the outside there were markings. I can't really remember. I remember seeing the sun and other things, but I can't really remember what it was on the outside. So looking into the outside, I saw some type of printing with the sun shining through. And I was laying down on a buffalo skin. I could still see the fur, the dark brown fur of the buffalo, and I can feel it. And Wolf was on top of me, and his hair, long hair, was hanging down on both sides of me, looking as he sat there, looked at me. And my hands, tiny little hands, so I was a small person, not young, but a small person. I was about 16. I saw them on his arms, and we were making love. And all of a sudden, I looked to the side, and coming into the teepee door was my husband coming in, and his eyes were all black, and I couldn't understand why they were all black, but I recognized after thinking about it. But he had been wherever he had, and he had come home with this black on his eyes, this black paint, and he found me with Wolf. And whether I was killed or not there, I'm not sure. Probably was. I have the tendency to believe I was killed then. That was the end of my memory. But it was so clear that I wrote it down, and I was quite wondering if this was just the indicator of something coming in my life. And sure enough, something did come in my life. I met Wolf. And in this life, in I think it was 1990, I guess it was right around the time I dreamt I met Wolf in this physical world in my life that day. And I knew him. I knew from the past. We were kids growing up together, but we had gone our separate ways. And in the end, anyhow, we met each other and we had a relationship. But I recognized this was Wolf. And when I realized this was Wolf, I knew Fox was coming somehow in my life. And one day I did have an opportunity to meet Fox. I met him through a friend, talked to him, and decided to meet him at a restaurant to have coffee. So I pulled into the parking lot of this restaurant, and as I got out, I turned and looked down the parking lot, and this man was coming towards me, and he had dark sunglasses on, and I immediately I saw that it was black paint, and I knew that was Fox, and I turned around and I said, "Oh gosh, I'm getting the heck out of here because I don't want to deal with this. That's Fox coming." But I said, "No, I agreed to meet him, so I'm going to turn around and I'm going to meet him." So we met, and we had a number of meetings, dates, and we eventually married. So this was now my second husband. But I knew that all this past was going to catch up to me because there was a lot of karma I had created between the two of us. So one day I told him about, I don't know, maybe 6 months into our relationship, I had told him about the past life we had had together, and I asked for his forgiveness. And he really didn't believe me. He says, "Yeah, sure, of course, I don't care. I don't care what happened." In his mind, he's thinking, what is crazy? But anyhow, and for me, he had said he accepted my apologies, so I knew our karma was coming to an end. So the fact that I had cheated on him in that past, I recognized what was coming in this life. And sure enough, he started cheating on me. But I recognized also that this was him paying me back karma that I had earned. So now this was kind of bringing a balance to our relationship or an ending to our karmic connection. And within months, the marriage started in August of 1991, and we were divorced by July 1993. So it was 2 years. It took 2 years from beginning to end to meet, marry, deal with our karma, and end the relationship. And I recognized that as time went on. I certainly had help from my inner guidance that this relationship was coming to an end. So that's karma for you. I created this. I started it, and I recognized that it ended when he paid me back. So I wasn't angry with him. I recognized that I earned that. So we had a couple other lifetimes together. One I just remember being in a wheelchair and crying, always crying, because he was always so mean to me, and I didn't know why. And one other relationship we had together, I was an Aborigine in Australia. I was man, and my second husband in this life was my best mate in that life. And we were tracking, and I don't remember what we were tracking, but I remember on down on one knee looking at the tracks, and all of a sudden my best mate shot me. And he shot me right here, and killed me, of course. But I remember thinking my best mate killed me. And then in this lifetime, when I was born, I came in with a big mass on my side of my neck, and that lifetime had to have been many years ago. It wasn't. I think it was probably. It was sometime after the Kiowa life, but I don't know when. And it was also another occurrence of payback. And when I was born with this lump, my parents took me to the doctor. Obviously, I was in the hospital when I was born, and they thought maybe I was going to die, and should they operate? And the doctor that was our family doctor at the time told my mom and dad, no, do not operate on her because it's probably going to kill her. Just wait till she's older. So I did wait. I was 16 years old finally when I went in and had the operation to get this big mass removed. I just have some scarring there. That's about it. And the doctor after told my mom and dad, thank goodness you waited until she was 16 because it was varicose veins that started here and went right through my throat. So I didn't remember anything when I was 16 about any past lives. I didn't even know there's such a thing as past lives. But in this time, in this and space where I was when I remembered that past life recall, I recognized that I brought this traumatic memory forward, and this murder or the time he shot me. I brought the memory of it because I brought the veins, the damage that the gunshot had done into this life, and this life, of course, I dealt with all that karma. So karma has a reason. So sometimes when we have uh, bad things going on, it's not because um, it's just out of the blue. It's usually because we've earned it. And even if we feel we didn't do a darn thing in this lifetime, how many lifetimes ago did we do something that we earned um, the problems that we have today? So if we can look at life like that, that it's our life is what we create it to be. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be wonderful if we create it. So it's in our nature and in our hands to create the life we want. If we want to be poor, we will be poor. If we want to be rich, we will be rich. It all depends on what effort we put into what we want and what we have. So that's about it. I think that's my Valentine's Day story, my love triangle, and the end results of all of that. So everybody has experiences, and it's always wonderful to hear these experiences, and that was one of mine. So thank you everyone for listening. I don't know if you made it this long or not, but anyhow, if you did, thank you, and I hope you have a very happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye.